Well, in many ways, I'm being strangled by the Newcastle Knights, so it's but more emotionally than physically. Good evening and welcome to the Joust. My name is Nagy, as always. It is always my name, and I'm always joined by my co-host Liam McNeil for another week of the Joust. You know, talking about the Newcastle Bloody Knights that have got 3 wins in a row, Liam. I'm bloody excited.
I'm glad you mentioned that you're always Nagy, because every once in a while you come into the room and I don't know who you are, I don't know what's going on. So it's good to know from week to week that I'm joined by Nagy in the chair over there. So it's wonderful to
A soft reminder of who I am for your benefit, Liam, and everyone's benefit watching.
Yeah, and we're all the better for it.
Speaking in uncharted territories and not knowing who the hell we are, Liam.
Yes.
3 entire... Did someone just toot their horn going past? They must know.
They're a huge fan of the show.
They know when we record here. They know the Commonwealth Hotel, they just went, oh, let's give them a few horns. It's a Tuesday night. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
But Liam, we're in this position now. There was a time where we would always have, for years, 3 losses in a row plus. And now we've got 3 wins in a row for the second year in a row.
I don't know how to deal with it. Obviously, you know, there's all these services out there where you can call up and they help you deal with things. They help you get through strange times that you don't understand.
Yeah.
But I don't know which helpline to call.
No, not kids.
Experiencing this kind of joy, I suppose. It's very strange.
I heard recently that Kids Helpline's about to turn 30 years old.
Hey.
That's how long it's been around, Kids Helpline. And then they've even extended, because originally it was meant to be from 5 to 18,
Okay.
the age group, and they extended it to 18 to 25. 5 to 25, huge part of your life. Then there's also Parents Helpline, which is for everyone else. But now I'm outside 25, but not a parent.
Well, that's it. When are they bringing in 30-year-old uni dropouts? Helpline?
Yeah, where's that?
Where's that? We need that.
There's a
That's
market.
what we need first. Forget the children.
Yeah.
Focus on us. Middle-aged white men.
Have they not been in Newcastle? That's all we are. 30-year-old dropouts. Either some of us doing podcasts and the rest of us playing rugby league.
Now, that's a group who needs a bit of help. Podcasters.
We're
all mental. Every single goddamn one of us.
Yeah, there's not a sane branch in that tree. Now, but Liam...
Yes, Nagy.
Before we deep dive into the Newcastle Knights, historic win, keeping a team to 0 doesn't happen very often.
No, I can't remember the last time that happened.
And it's been 8 years since the Cowboys have been kept to 0. We managed to do it. We were the ones that did it.
We were the ones. Isn't that just a beautiful feeling?
They were the longest standing team consecutively not to go to 0.
Isn't that strange?
I wouldn't have picked them.
Nor would I. They've not been good for quite some time.
If they said you can have a loose 15 teams on the list, they would have been my 16th.
Yeah.
They would have missed out. But it's time for the news, Liam.
Time for the news. There we go.
I wish you could say it's the first time that I've, fired blanks. Now,
He's
Liam.
new to the show. Please give him a break. Now, Nagy, this is huge. The most important piece of news maybe in the Knights' history.
Did you just call me Nabki?
Yes, I called you Nabki. I can't even control the exuberance and the joy that I'm feeling right now. The Knights cannot miss the finals. We're locked in. We've got our spot.
Is it true?
Yes.
We've said this before.
No. Shut up, it's true. Let me have this.
Okay, sure. We're there.
I don't think we can miss out on the finals.
We're 7 points clear of 9.
7 clear of 9.
Which is quite good with 4 games to go.
I believe it's 4, yeah.
4-ish. Who knows? It's
less than a half dozen.
It's a bloody good chance, mathematically, that we'll be in the finals.
And generally, we have to save our mathematically able to make the finals till about round 24, 25, when we're sitting in 10th.
Every conversation I've had with you, Liam, is that we celebrate mathematically, which is our word of the week this week. Mathematically, we'll be not getting the wooden spoon this year. Which we've only said a couple of times. But it's nice to be now, we're thinking, okay, this is going to be a finals team. But it's wonderful to kick off the news to say the Newcastle Knights will be there. I was going to say September, but that's
whenever. We'll be there whenever.
Whenever it happens.
You name a time where we're having the finals, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there an hour early. We'll have our kit on. We'll be ready to go. And we'll, I don't know, maybe win the comp.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like 2015.
Yes.
Knights were a terrible side.
Oh, we're a rabble.
2016. even worse.
A more rabble. What's more than a rabble? What's worse than a rabble? Barney Rubble.
Rubble, a bit of Barney, a bit of trouble. And 2017, slight improvement on the Rubble incident, but then still quite shit.
So a ribble. So we had our rabble, we had our rubble, we've got our ribble.
And then onto the roble. Anyway, it's we're working the vows.
Mate, we'll have a chat with Uncle Vlad, see if we can get the boys paid in rubles.
That's solved all our salary cap
Huge fan
worries.
of the show, Mr. Putin, as well. Big fan of the show. Rugby league surprisingly big in Russia. Like we've been discussing expansion into the Balkans and Eastern Europe. Yeah. Russia. There's your next big rugby league heartland.
We went over there a couple of times to St. Petersburg. That's the heartland of rugby league in Russia. A lot of people look to Moscow. No, don't go there they're too fixated.
Moscow's a union. Yeah, it's a union town. It's fancy. It's expensive. There's lots of corporate boys. Yeah. Hoity-toity. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's a Russian word as well. Not many people know that.
Now, if we look at the screen real quick, we actually do have a Russian championship of rugby league. Now, we've got, these are some great footy names. The Moscow Magicians.
Yep.
CSKA Moscow. The Muscovite Spartak.
Yeah.
Sparta. That's a great team name if ever I've heard one. Vereya Vittlers Urals. RLFC, if you're interested in the Ural Mountains.
Yeah.
There seems to be a team called Berserk.
CSKA Moscow and the Magicians really are just making up the numbers. The real heartland of the rest of those teams you find in St. Petersburg.
Yes.
And that's really where everything happens. But Liam, the shitness of that we carried on our shoulders, the rubble and the ribble and the robles, we've managed to offload to another team. For a while there, I think one year was Parramatta, another was the Bulldogs, but no, we found our really shit side of 2020, and that's the Brisbane Broncos.
And isn't it wonderful to see again this saga? It keeps unfolding. There's more interesting things and intrigues, and there's been so much Broncos news in the last week that I've said, bugger it. We're sticking to one, which is the most important part, that Anthony Seibold has quit.
Yeah.
Has he quit? Has he been fired? No one knows.
Same result.
Either way, he's getting a large pile of money out of it.
Yeah.
So who lost that deal?
Well, someone said, they've offered him $1 million. And then someone said, he's worth more. And I said, well, maybe on a previous evaluation, he might have been worth more, but his current worth, far less.
Yeah. Now, a lot of it stems, obviously, from the Broncos board and the people in charge of the Broncos, but they seem to be escaping all of this unmarked.
Sure.
They haven't had their cards marked in the way that they should have. Now, this is going to be... He's coached his last game for the Broncos. He's taken the settlement payout. Kevin Walters is favoured to get the job. Now, I don't know if you know much about Kevin Walters. But
I know a little bit.
He's not very bright. He's not very good. Yep. He inherited a Queensland Origin team full of... let's just say what it is. Talent, potential future immortals, and then lost.
Yes, twice.
2 times. So, I don't know why all these people are thinking that he'll be a good club coach.
Well, the only way is up when you're looking at Anthony Seibold's tenure.
See, that's the thing I love about the Broncos. The only way isn't up. They could go even further down.
No, it's fun to say that they're going to go up and then watch them crash even further into the earth.
They're down to they're through the magma.
Yeah, magma.
They've got to hit the core.
Magma was May. That was the magma. I don't know. They're coming out the other side, which might be St. Petersburg. I don't know. It depends on which way the Earth's turning on.
What was that movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth? It was a Jules Verne book, wasn't it?
I'm almost certain it is. Yeah. Wasn't Marlon Brando, was he?
No, it wasn't Brando, no.
Because there would have been a lot of caves there.
There was a lot of caves.
He had his cave game.
Speaking of Brando, my favourite Jules Verne is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and I think they actually approached Brando to play a blue whale in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't know if he took it up or not.
Came in too overweight.
Yeah, that's it. Too overweight to play a blue whale.
He still had his lines written down there to go...
Anyway, I've heard from sources close to the source that Marlon will actually be considered as Broncos head coach, despite being deceased.
Now, Liam,
yes,
when you're young and you're a young boy growing up in this world,
I don't remember any of that.
No, I'm explaining this is what happened.
Please fill me in. What did I do from ages 0 to 27?
When you reach that age of that you can call kids helpline, you're in that age bracket. There's always a thing that you assume when I'm going to be rich and famous, and when I'm going to have all this wealth as an adult, and the sum that's always thrown around is $1 million. If I had $1 million, I'd do this. What would you do with $1 million? Anthony Seibold's just been paid $1 million to stop working.
That's it. I'll quit my job if it gets me $1 million. I'll quit coaching the Broncos if it gets me $1 million.
This show would be over so quickly if anyone threw us even a fraction of $1 million.
Just give us a 20 and we're done. That's us.
We're out.
We're out.
Thank you very much.
We've made our money. We've made our fortunes.
Yeah, no,
and all from change from a 50.
if you're gonna be bad at something, at least be bad at something and get paid $1 million. I've always said it.
I'm a sucker. I've been just being bad at things in general and never once got a dime.
No.
Except from the wonderful Commonwealth Hotel, of course.
Oh, that's right. We can be terrible for the Commonwealth Hotel here at the Commonwealth Hotel, and receive their support. Both it's more emotional support, spiritual support. At times, it's the kind of people that are supporting us because we don't have a bloody helpline. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. The Commonwealth Hotel
is our helpline.
Excellent podcasting helpline. If you're out there, podcasters, give the commie a call. Next item in the news now. This may be the funniest rugby league story of all time.
Are you sure? Because I thought Anthony Seibold's tenure at the Brisbane Broncos was the funniest.
This is funnier.
Oh,
and the pre-story is even funnier again. Now, the English Super League.
The priest story?
No.
The priest story.
No, I can't tell the priest story on air. No, I wouldn't dream of it.
The trial's still going.
That'll incriminate entire dioceses. But the English Super League now have made a very, very wise financial decision to take on pizza chain Papa John's as their sponsor. Now, if you were taking on, say, a big global company like Papa John's as the naming rights sponsor for the English Super League, how much do you reckon you would expect to receive from the sponsor?
Be a fair amount and a couple of slices, I imagine.
Well, you're wrong. It's only slices.
What?
Papa John's. Now, the English Super League have gone to Papa John's and said, we would like you to sponsor our competition.
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. You're an enormous company. That makes sense. Let me tell you how much money they earn from this deal, just as if you'll stare down the barrel of the camera. Big fat fucking donut. They are not getting a cent out of this sponsorship deal. What they are getting, though,
Italian pies.
Italian toast. And this is from the head of the Super League himself, said this is a great deal. CEO of Papa John's came out and said, look, we really want to ensure that the players are properly nourished, that they've, they're taken care of after the game with a bite to eat.
Of course.
But, it's the Brisbane diet, the Broncos diet.
But the players are getting the revenue, the cheesy bread revenue from this directly? Is this how it's working?
Absolutely. They'll walk into the change room at the end of every game. They'll be piping hot pizzas waiting for them.
Piping hot Papa John's.
Piping hot Papa John's pizza pies.
Oh, my gosh.
But now, it's funny if you go back, the Super League actually have a bit of a track record with this. Now, in 2012, they signed on a logistics company as naming rights sponsor for the Super League. Do you want to know how much they got out of that deal?
I would love to.
Stare down the barrel again, Justus. Donuts. They got nothing out of the deal, but you know what they did get?
What?
Pictures of players on trucks. So I think, look, the English Super League.
Super League has gone down ever since you left, the sponsorship committee. Yeah. It's really taken a nosedive.
I asked for at least $100 every time, and they said no. We shan't be giving you that.
They said we don't have any money, but are you hungry? You look hungry, and we can
I was,
and we can get it to you on trucks. We're just putting it out there.
So pizza on trucks. It's a good time.
Can I say, Liam, in this world, there's so many platforms. Podcasting's one. We're on 17 different platforms on this podcast alone. You can't avoid us.
No.
If you've got ears,
try as you might, you cannot avoid us.
You'll hear us on those social pipes.
Yeah.
And then there's all these sort of ways that there's directed advertising. So you just get it no matter what you're doing. You're trying to order a plumber, and then you get shown this is what you had for breakfast yesterday. Yeah. And I didn't think that the most lucrative advertising would be side of trucks.
Side of trucks. That's where the big kind of opportunities come in. I know some bloke driving up. What do they have in England? Motorways. He's driving up the motorway. Sees James Maloney on this. Side of a truck. I might sign him.
I might go.
Look at him. He's on the truck. He's the size of a truck. So there we go.
Isn't this wonderful?
Bachelor's original mushy peas.
The mushy peas.
Naming rights sponsor for the English Super League. Bachelor's original mushy peas coming straight out of, what is it? Harry's Cafe de Wheels.
Look at this.
What's the pie where they've got the float?
That's the
You've
wheels.
got the pie and then it's in gravy and it's got mushy peas on top of it. You know, the first time I ever had one of them was at Timbertown up in Warhoe.
They're holding peas, Liam. They're holding
Cans of peas.
Cans of peas.
The very same peas that will go on the pizza.
Is this the end of Super League? Are we seeing
I
the?
think it's been in a steady decline.
Is this the death rattle of Super League?
They've been death rattling for a while, I believe. But yes, this is the death rattle of Super League. But
Have we not
they brought that
noticed
upon
this?
themselves.
It's a sponsorship for no money. They've got peas in every player's hands. Pizza's coming out the wazoo.
What a strange organisation.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very strange organisation.
Okay.
But again, ever since they kicked myself off the sponsorship committee, it just
gone.
hasn't worked out.
It's plateaued at least.
It's plateaued. Yeah. Now, last item in the news, just threw this in because why the hell not? Anthony Griffin is the front runner for the Dragons job. Where's he been?
I don't know, but I'm sure he's looking forward to getting fired in 2 to 3 years' time.
Or no, what if he wins 3 games in a row and they've got the fresh contract, then they lose every game for the rest of the year? That seems to be the Dragons' MO.
I believe it was Gus Gordon also said he's the man for the job, even though he's the one that sacked him before. Is Panthers still paying him?
I would imagine so.
That's the thing about coaches. They stop working and then
What
they
do?
they get-
Like, he hasn't been. I haven't seen him be an assistant anymore. What does a coach do?
I don't know.
For example, Anthony Seibold.
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's going to do over the next couple of years besides just lay on his pile of $1 million?
Yeah.
Probably swim in it. Like, you know what I think?
You'd have to swim in it.
I reckon Anthony Seibold might put his, and I think this is a very wise investment. I think Anthony Seibold might put his $1 million towards opening a year-round Christmas store.
A year-round Christmas store.
Yeah.
That kind of confidence I love in year-round Christmas stores.
It's a lot of confidence.
There's one at Mayfield, Forever Christmas.
Forever Christmas,
And I
yep.
believe there's another
Dear
one.
friends of the show.
Great friends of the show, especially around July and mid-December. And there's also another one in Long Jetty. Now, Long Jetty, not a very populated area.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It's got one road and then a few places around.
And a Christmas
And
store.
a Christmas store. It's amazing that the people have the confidence in this world to say, I've got to open a business and pay rent to this business 52 weeks of the year. I know exactly
Despite being relevant for 2 months of the year.
2 months, if that, it's just, huge in December, maybe a little bit in the sales, of course, in January and February, and then a bit of obviously Easter's on the horizon after
Yep.
February, and then nothing, and then a blip in July.
Christmas in July, of course.
Which is not really celebrated.
No, not at
No,
all.
it isn't. Like, I find there's places like you go to, like, I don't know, Barrington Tops or something like that, and they'd be like, what's cold? And it's July, let's have Christmas
now
in
that makes
July.
sense.
But there's no Christmas store out there.
They've got to come all the way into
in.
Mayfield, stock up at Forever Christmas. But I'll tell you what, this store does suit people like my father now. Dad,
Yeah.
he's a bargain hunter. He loves finding a bargain. So December 26 rolls around, he's straight to the Christmas shops.
Yeah.
He's straight to Forever Christmas.
Stocking
'Cause
up.
that's when they have their stock. Obviously, like kitchen shops. They're
Yeah.
always forever on clearance.
Yes.
Robin's Kitchens in Qatar, I walked past there today. They've had a closing down sale going on for a good half a decade.
It's like the rug store.
Romani's Rug Gallery.
Romani's Rug Gallery.
Yeah.
They only had sales. Why would you go in there if they didn't?
Now, that's as you can see here on the image in front of us, it's Forever Christmas.
Forever Christmas.
Down
It's a
there in
wonderful
Mayfield.
store.
Pop in, tell them the Joust sent you. And they'll say, what are you doing here
Might
in...
be a sponsorship idea, actually.
Look, I tell you what,
Go after the business that is operating at a time when the rugby league is not.
send the check.
Send the check, Forever Christmas.
It looks wonderful. It looks very festive.
Well,
in there.
now, we've, as you can see on the screen here, we've actually done some mock-ups for the next studio for when we do get sponsored by Forever Christmas. So that's what you can look forward to, Joust. I'm sure we can get a Christmas palette of red and blue.
Yeah.
We're working on that
Blue.
for some bespoke options from them. So there you go. You got a bit of red and blue in that. So Forever Christmas, Mayfield, check it out. If you need Christmas stuff. If not,
So can you go
bugger
back?
ya.
Can you go back to that one, Pom? The tree's been on fire.
charcoal Christmas tree.
Christmas tree. That's fresh from 2019 Christmas.
Yeah.
That's That's a travesty to mention that.
It's ruined Christmas. It's what that tree has done is ruined Christmas. But Nagy, let's talk footy.
Yeah.
Let's talk the game against the Cowboys, Nagy. You watch this on television, I'm led to believe.
I believe I did.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I watch it on a laptop. You know, I like to be a little bit more...
KO, of course.
A lot more intimate with my football, laptop and the thing. Because also you can shut...
I've seen how intimate you get with football. I don't know if you want to get more intimate.
Yeah, light a candle, pour a glass of Merlot.
Get yourself in the bath.
You get in the bath with the
Bubbles.
laptop. Well, the laptop then, if you plug the laptop in, it's basically, one slip in, it will kill you.
Yeah.
Into the bath and it will electrify you to death. And then you'll look like that Christmas tree. But it's a risk I'm not willing to take. So I leave I pre-bath before the game. But it allows me to shut off all rooms and sort of barricade them all in for the swearing that always comes with the game. But I watched it on television. You are correct. You were there. Gusty.
It was gusty,
sultry.
It was a sultry twilight. Gusty, sultry, you name it. It was everything. But God, it was a tough game to watch at the ground.
I'll tell you
so
what.
stressful. A game with the goddamn Knights and this stress.
Now, why is it, Liam, that we live in a world where our team wins by 12 points, which is considered a reasonable margin.
And held the team to zero. Not only scored 12.
But I don't think my heart rate was under 130. And
Nor was mine.
And my resting heart rate's at least 115. So it was just...
Did you get that looked at? Is that what's okay? What's fine?
I don't know, but I've had a twitch sort of in the back of my neck for a while, but I'm sure it will pass. It should be low. What's a good resting heartbeat? Can we look that up? I'm sure we can find out. All Knights supporters need to know this.
They do.
For when
and as we are now licensed medical professionals, we can recommend recommend this treatment to Knights fans.
Yes.
Cop that, City of Cessnock.
It's 60 to 100 is what you should be.
So
That's
you're
quite a
way
wide
out.
berth there, really, isn't it? You've got a bit of flexibility there.
Yeah.
So it was one of those games that we seemed to have managed to get the first try in the first 15 minutes there with Heimel Hunt over in the corner.
I was actually sitting right in the corner there when Heimel went over. It was I'm actually 4 rows behind that wonderful tape that they actually, you can probably see me in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Nah. Not worth seeing me anyway. You see me enough through the week, Jousters. You don't want to see me on the weekend.
Not on the bloody telly.
Not on the bloody telly.
So
broadcast media.
I did.
They're killing podcasting. Broadcast media is killing independent podcasting.
I did enjoy that Heimel Hunt went for the classic touch football put down,
Yes.
which is very casual for a team that doesn't score a great deal of tries.
Well, I was going to say, how would coach have felt like this? And first of all, most importantly, how about Kalen Ponga's kicking game?
Well,
I think it's time we renegotiate Mark Tukey's contract as kicking coach.
I tell you what,
In hindsight, maybe he wasn't a great signing. And I think we've really got to cop the brunt of the blame for that one.
you might say that he talked his way into the job.
Oh, he greased palms.
I read his CV again, and he said he was always around kickers. He didn't say he was a great kicker himself.
But he was around kickers, and surely that's enough. You watch someone do something 9 or 10 times, you can do it. You're done.
You can do it. He's a visual learner.
Visual learner, photographic memory.
Maybe he's not. IQ of 140.
Yeah.
He can leap.
Boot size also 140. Huge feet. That's why we thought he'd be so good. Because if you look scientifically, you've got 140 size 140 boot on there. You're going to get a decent swing on there because of the centrifugal motion.
Centrifugal, yeah.
So that's we went into this.
Physics, isn't it?
It's physics. We went into this. Tukes said, "Look, boys, it's physics."
We said, "All
wonderful,
right.
Tukes, you signed, fantastic.
Take it.
We'll give you Anthony's money that he's just got paid out of the Broncos."
Yeah. And then look, he took Kalen under his wing. We lost him at one stage, Kalen. He was so far under there. We said, "Kalen, get out! Quick, it will swallow you whole. Go towards the light." And then he came out. And it was, thank God, the second birth, I call it, of Kalen Ponga.
The second birth of Kalen Ponga.
So we've been left with this product. Traumatically scarred, of course, after going through that with Mark Tukey. But it's also, we've left a player that is so well-rounded and everything he does. Great runner, great ball player. He reads the game. He can step like he's moving in the Matrix. Can't kick a conversion to save his goddamn life.
And not only that, he hasn't been able to do so for a number of years now.
Yeah.
A number of years. And here we see, obviously, him getting chased down by the Cowboys, which wasn't much fun to watch. But then...
beat 2 players, got it on the third. It was. I think it was. You could probably classify this game as the reason why was
Turgid.
Well, yes,
Turgid game.
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities, yes.
It seemed like we should be scoring more points, and we just didn't. We didn't get over. And the Cowboys, they're a gritty side.
Gritty?
Yeah, well, they're from a gritty place.
They're from a very gritty place. You should see the surface up there. It's all grit.
It's grit.
They just laid down a bunch of gravel.
Can't get it off.
No.
It's in your shoes.
Very fine gravel too, so it gets everywhere. It gets in your ears, it gets in your nose.
Vacuum, you just hear that like as you're vacuuming, and you sort of like, I sort of like that.
You got to
sound.
get yourself a Dyson, mate. That would never happen with a Dyson.
No, it's not the vacuuming. It's the sound of the crumbs, the grits going up.
I repeat, if you had a Dyson, you
Why
wouldn't.
wouldn't it happen?
Well,
It's
because
another-
Dysons are the best vacuums on the face of the earth. They're very good. Send the check,
Dyson.
Send the check. I believe they're Swedish.
I've got a Miele.
Oh, Miele.
Yeah.
They make ovens. Why have you bought a vacuum cleaner from an oven company?
Well, one sucks and one blows. There's. There's.
No, it doesn't.
Heck, so what's moving the
I
hot
guess
air
an oven
around?
blows hot air.
hot
Yeah,
air's
yeah.
around.
Okay, yeah. I was
it
too quick to jump to conclusions.
Often cooks things in there. But no, Miele was the first time I ever bought a vacuum, and then they said, now, if it ever breaks down, make sure you come back in, and this is, you got a warranty for it. I was like, I was like, every vacuum I've just thrown out.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
when it stops
I
working.
don't think I've ever actually used a warranty on anything. And all my things break before the warranty's up.
Yeah.
But I've never once actually used it. Is that an adult thing? To take a warranty and say, my thing broke, I have a warranty, can I get the new thing? Again, I just throw them out.
I don't know about you, Liam, but,
I don't know about me, Liam.
but
Who am I?
If I
How do
order
we get to
something,
the heart
if
of
I
this?
order something at a restaurant
Yes.
and the wrong meal comes, I'm not going to tell them. I'll just eat it quietly because I
Yeah.
don't want to cause any disturbance to that person's
But again,
life.
that's our ex-hospitality experience, We'll just sit
They'll be like, the
yes.
veal? And I'm like, thank you.
Yes,
It's like, this
please,
isn't my
yes.
lasagna.
The completely wrong meal.
Well, look, it'd have to be... Look, I tell you what it would take. I would stare at it until someone else goes, you didn't order that. And then that's my motivation to say something.
No, I didn't. What a surprise.
Yeah.
My God.
Because I can see, like, if you ask, if there's a slight difference, if you chose to have with your schnitty chips and salad,
Yeah,
because
they
the
give
veg
you
and mash.
and
Yeah.
mash.
Yeah.
That's a forgivable mistake.
I can see me not saying something, but if I order schnitzel and they bring me veal, as you say, then I'm
What
gonna
about
say
if it was a
something.
veal schnitzel?
Yeah.
They're pretty good. You know the worst one for me, though?
This guy's like, it is,
Again,
yeah.
this is our hospitality coming out. The one I hate is when you take an order for someone, the food comes out 10 minutes later, they've forgotten what they ordered. It was 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and you're looking forward to your dinner. How do you forget? So I'll bugger around the table. Oh, schnitzel pepper sauce, schnitzel pepper sauce. No one? All right, back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Come back out. Oh, excuse me, I had a schnitzel with pepper sauce.
I don't,
Fuck off.
I don't like when waitresses don't write things down. that will ruin my evening because I'll be looking at the person I'm having dinner with in the back of my mind going, "There's 5 orders. How can she remember all? There was 3 changes to those orders. How could she remember all of them? Why didn't she just write it down?"
Well, there's lots of people out there, Nagy, that have much better memories than us for various reasons we won't go into, including alcohol abuse and a
Yeah.
series of concussions
Yeah.
served throughout our careers.
Certainly is.
So for us, it's acceptable to forget, but not for a professional.
Yeah.
Not for a hospitality professional. But who have you got? Nagy, for hats off.
Such a long way to get there. Look, there was lots of players that I think we stood out. Individual performances were fantastic. There was some great defence from Phoenix Crossland. I know on the try line there and managing to keep the side to zip, as we once said. But for me, I know, and also Anali Tuala, which also had a wonderful game as well and scored the final try.
God, you can see why Coach loves him.
And also-
he's good, this kid.
God,
He's
remember
good.
if you see Anari out in Newcastle.
Love you, Anari.
I love you, Anari. Just send Anari some love.
Yep, hashtag.
But it has to go to Mitch Barnett.
Barney.
Barney's back. The
He's
tramp's
back
down
in a big way.
like a lighthouse beam of light from the back of the top of his ass.
Leading Knights fans away
Yeah.
from the cragged rocks that we formerly used to run into all the time. He's a beaming lighthouse, so we don't run into rocks anymore.
200 metres with this break as well. That he did everything he needed. Even the good step of the
Look
fullback.
at Piercy. Oh my
he was
God,
right
he must have
there.
been furious.
He's
Furious.
He usually scores a few tries at the end of the season as well, Mitch Barnett. He's got a bit of a But he's been something special since coming back from neck surgery. I think it was.
Superb numbers too. 205 metres, 86 post-contact metres, 4 tackle busts, line break, 3 offloads and 38 tackles.
38 tackles. Well,
what an effort from Barney. Now, I don't think I'm going off too early.
Wingham? Is that where he's from?
He's from Wingham.
Yeah.
Good Wingham boy. I believe the Wingham Tigers is the team out there. Or, it could be Wingham whatever's. I don't know. I just threw Tigers in there. But
probably
I don't think Barney would be
out of place
in a Blues jersey.
He's certainly.
I know, obviously, New South Wales at the moment, we're stacked for second rowers and locks. But if the injury curse strike in the NRL continues, Barney could have a spot.
Surely he can.
Surely.
There's lots of back rows that are huge these days.
He's built for Origin.
If anything, he's just one of these players that seems like almost like. BK wasn't the biggest player.
I was about to bring up the BK comparison.
It's almost like we speak all the time.
Yes. The new BK.
The new BK.
I love it.
Barney Rubble. Full of trouble. Okay. Who was your
Barney kicks. Because he can kick a goal.
He can.
BK. Barney Kicker.
Barney.
Terrible. Sorry, I was drawing a long bow there. My hat's off. I got to go to Clem. Mate, this bloke, this bloody bloke, my God. 270 metres, 141 post-contact metres, and offload 32 tackles, but most impressively, 1 kick for 9 metres. It was a very deft little grubber that he put in.
Yeah.
I think it should have led to a try, except that no one was chasing.
Yes.
Because obviously Clement doesn't do quite so much kicking.
No.
He kicked out of the front rowers comp. But he was wearing shorts.
Good for kicking.
Very, very good for kicking.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. Superb. Led the forwards from the front. Here we go. Look at him. Taking 3 and 4 defenders to take down. Getting the quick play the ball. And then on to Barney.
On to Barney Rubble.
The hat's been passed from one hat's off to the other hat's off.
Did a very good job.
Ponga was excellent, of course. Wonderful, as usual, besides the kicking thing. We'll come back to that
now,
when we announce the team list.
There's a little bit of a sad moment, of course, much like the Bulldogs game, 5 rounds ago.
I know.
We invited Blake Green. This is not only Blake Green, but this is the undefeated Knights legend, Blake Green.
Undefeated Knights legend, 3-0.
3-0.
But obviously, they're writhing in pain on the ground. It hurts to see it, and suspected ACL. So,
but it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed.
So people are talking, he's 34. He's done his ACL. That's what, a 12-month recovery period.
At least.
Does he have a future in the NRL? Does he have a spot at the club next year? What can he do? Where does he go? Does he live here?
No,
I don't know. Is he flying in from the Terrigal every day?
Well, one thing he does have is a lot of people with him in recovery.
Yes.
That's not going to be a lonely trip.
My God, the Knights recovery room at the moment would be a just constant party. There's so many of them.
Just with the boys.
A lot of young blokes having a good time. But and obviously you got the beak split open as well. But we've got some exclusive footage coming up.
Well, we thought it might have been the ground leveling. Because of course that's your background in the ground leveling. And we went out there with the spirit level and we thought, no, everything's fine.
It's fine. They had the grass cut to the correct length.
It might have been his knee. But no, we've actually discovered this.
If you slow it down, you'll see that the 6 is actually an inverted 9. The curse continues.
Doesn't it ever? Oh. Sorry, Grady. Undefeated
Knights legend Blake Green.
Blake Green. Can you? I don't think we can name another player that has had
an undefeated career for the Knights.
No, I don't think he's. I think he's the first.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
I think there's got to be space for him.
There's got to be space for him.
You've got to look at it in all seriousness. You have to look at his 3 games ago. We were still balancing basically a win-loss season. And, these 3 games are very winnable games that he came and played for. And he's come in and he did the job.
But they're the games you got to win. The winnable ones. The Knights of any probably year in the last... When was the last time we were good? 2013. No. Any year since 2013, the Knights lose that game. Even in 2013, the Knights lose that game.
Yeah, but really, we lost the games we should have won in 2013. I think 2013 has this gloss over it of this. Of course, we made
the prelim.
The prelims, of course, but we finished 7th, and we basically scraped
Fluked it against the Storm.
Yeah, I think we only got 14 wins and 11 losses or something like that. It was something like it was crazy.
Actually, I seem to recall we lost. We either had a even record, or we had a
minus. We lost more than we won.
Yeah, because I remember Cade Hines, dear friend of the show, being very, very upset that the Knights made the final with a less than sterling record. But to Cade, I say, well, actually, his team won the comp 2 years later. So
1 year later.
I can't really say anything. Well done, Cade. You
There
picked
was
a
a
good team to
moment.
support.
I want another missed opportunity. So the Blake Green going down, undefeated, nice legend Blake Green for the first time. He went down. It's very sorry to see that we would love to have seen him go into the finals, but unfortunately that can't be the case. It's rugby league. This is what happens. Players get injured. Players sign for 1 year. They don't come back and win.
But at least, Blake's got something to hold on to. He's got his beautiful stubble. Now, I've never seen Blake Green clean shaven. I assume he shaves in the morning, and within probably 15 to 20 minutes, it's all come back.
It sure has.
Yeah.
But,
It's fantastic stubble.
he's just a man beyond men.
Yes, he is a man beyond man. But, mate, that was a stressful one. 12-0 after 80 minutes. It was just... Oh, I was on the edge of my seat. I was banging the seats around me. I was throwing cans at people. Oh,
Now, Liam,
it wore me out.
It did. It was a very exhausting game. If anything, we put up a bit of a... Because we didn't know what was going to happen. Now, Blake Green, a player that we just brought to the club, filling the 6 in jersey, Kurt Mann at number 9. What are we going to do? How's this going to shift? How's it going to look? What's this Jenga tower that they keep putting up and collapsing? And then
It's kind of the whole point of Jenga.
Our fearless leader, Mr. Decided today, this of everyone, and we thought, is it going to be Tex Hoy coming in number 6, which I think a lot of people was the most favoured for.
As we saw in you Jousters chiming in, which is fantastic. Tex Hoy was definitely the favourite for 6.
And then there was
people were very happy with Kurt at number 9.
Bringing Mann back to number 6, bringing Phoenix on for number 9, and then we were like, what are we going to do? But there was a little man, so he's hiding in the background that a lot of people might have forgotten about.
They tucked into the back pocket.
Some say he lives, through a round door in a hill. It was a Hobbit reference. He's only short.
I assumed that.
175 centimetres short, but he's and also about the same width wide. I don't. That's all I'm saying. But it was like a thumb. Is that what he said? Like a thumb. We've lost one
thumb-ish.
thumb. He's the other thumb. The other thumb of the team. The thumb on the hand that you don't use much. It is Mason Leno.
You clearly didn't grow up playing video games, Nagy.
No, you got to use both.
You got to use both, especially if you're a button masher like I was.
Yeah.
Just wobble around and hopefully something comes off. That was what got me through an entire primary school's worth of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Just mushing.
Which would you say you're a bigger, fan of a child? Street Fighter, Tekken, or Mortal Kombat?
Tekken.
Definitely
Tekken.
I was brought up on Tekken 2. I cut my teeth on Tekken.
Tekken 2? Yep.
No, Tekken as well, I was trying to say.
Tekken 2 was the game that really got off me. My favourite character was King. Now, I really liked King because he's a leopard.
Yeah.
But
also
he's dressed like a man. But not only is he dressed like a man, he's wearing like satin tracksuit pants with a t-shirt tucked into it and what looked like some terrible Nike TNs.
He's Bankstown man.
That is not the King I'm used to. I'm used to King being rendered in very low resolution.
There was definitely a tracksuit. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, that's the one we're looking for. King in Tekken 2. There you go. He's got the tracksuit. His shirt seems to be a FUBU shirt.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember that his arms are human arms.
Yeah, they are human arms. Yeah.
Explain that one, Charles Darwin.
There was like. It also.
I'm sorry, they're not Nike TNs. They're clearly Reeboks from the 90s.
There's lots of questions and marks about the game because it seems to be humans fighting these subhumans, like the man for a leopard head.
Yeah.
Is it a mask? Is that this whole thing?
Oh, I don't know.
There was also Jack and Jack 2, which were just
then
machines.
June was a beauty. She could roundhouse kick like no one's business. But again, Tekken was very much a button masher.
We were both
it was a masher.
Fans.
Yeah. It was a masher.
Any other?
What are we up to?
Where are we going?
What are we doing?
Where are we, Liam?
Get us back on track, Scoots. Next week.
Mason Leno. Mason Leno, number 6. Now, that does solve one of the problems that we mentioned earlier in this show. The kicking. Is the goal kicking.
I just hope he wears shorts.
Well, they're better for kicking.
Yeah.
Some would say they're good for kicking. And he can leave the Levi's at home. He'd probably have to get them tailor made because he only has little tiny legs. But there's been questions about his defence. There's a reason because Coach O'Brien, Mr. Much like the O'Brien on the thing, they don't like cracks.
They do not like cracks.
Crack figures
in windscreens or defence.
Yeah, it makes
players wearing their pants too low.
Too low.
Hindmarsh would never make it in Adam O'Brien's team.
No.
And rightly so.
You got to get the leg up. But Mason Leno does he pose a question in defence?
Look, I don't know.
Maybe. The Warriors are going to be aiming straight. This is a team that we used to play for as well. He's an ex-Warrior.
So we're going to see the Mason Lino revenge game.
Well, all they're going to see these guys are going to say, run at Mason, he can't tackle. One of the two.
Could do that.
And if we score a couple of points, he's a fellow that that he can get the job done. But there's a lot of pressure on him too now because we're like, we brought you in here because you can
Mason, bring your size 7s, make it work, or you're done.
your size 7s. Gosh.
Look at this now in the Warriors. I'm intrigued to see
He's like
number 3, the centre named Hayes Perham.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone named Hayes.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we yell that at him for? Oh my God, he was born in 1999. I can remember bits of 1999. That's stupid. I hate rugby.
Mine are
league.
clouded with Kids Helpline. Now,
See, he's 22. He's not 30. He's 22. That's
22, that's the only other age you can-
ages,
you
except
can be.
Alex Johnson, who's 25. But the Warriors pose an interesting threat, Nagy.
They're
now
playing pretty good football.
They're playing pretty good football. They've had every excuse this season to just capitulate and fall apart like wet cake. But they haven't. They've stood up. They've been strong. They're getting a lot out of their lone players. Jack Hetherington, before he took whose head off? Before he killed a man.
Suspended
he
again,
was
isn't
playing
he?
great. I'd love to see the stats actually on Jack Hetherington's suspensions compared to his games played.
Yeah,
I think it's about
neck and
50-50
neck.
at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
neck and neck. So I'm glad
Which
we're
is
not
also
facing...
the way he likes to tackle, neck and neck. It's going to be interesting to see. The Warriors side. It seemed like they're playing for pride, but they're also being very competitive. Now that we've got almost a finals opportunity locked in, can we repeat the 20-0 sort of round one expose that we had against the
I
Warriors?
certainly hope we can. Wait, we held the Warriors to 0?
Yeah, it's round one. Yeah. But that was before the COVID. We were younger. We were younger men back then.
We were healthy.
I didn't have a beard. I was much thinner.
It's not the only hair you didn't have, mate.
Hey.
But where do we win it, Nagy? How do you win games?
I don't know.
Is it forwards? Is it backs? Is it coach?
I don't know.
Is it the surface?
It's going to be interesting.
Is it Mason Lino size 7s?
It's the size 7's Dickie Knee himself.
Dickie Knee.
Just got to flash.
For our younger listeners, that's from Hey Hey It's Saturday. Famously played on Wednesday nights on Channel 9.
Yeah, for a while there. For a while there was on Saturdays.
Yeah, well-
but then went back to Wednesdays.
You reckon Red Simons is doing these days?
I think he got kicked off Melbourne radio recently.
Beauty. He needs a job.
Yeah.
We've got a third chair.
Bring back Red. We could have a gong here.
We'd have to have Red Simons and who's a celebrity named Blue?
No, I've lost you. No.
Didn't Kanye name a kid Blue?
No, is that a thing? No, I don't
North?
think it's
No, it was North, sorry.
You just need to find a redheaded fella. They always call them Bluey.
Bluey. Steve Southern.
Steve Southern.
Famously came to play for the Knights after a very good stint at North Queensland.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
underrated player, Bluey Southern was.
Yeah, and then he just came here and didn't, I think he only played 4 games.
Oh, that's terrible.
Skyhawks debut. Anyway, it's but also famously Daryl Summers, who still gets around with many of his television shows.
Yes.
I think once maybe I think Daryl might be returning to Channel 9.
Summertime?
No, well, it's got to be summer. It's got to be
returning
summertime.
every day summertime.
Because you remember the show Pimp My Ride?
Yes.
Well, this is similar with Daryl Summers,
Really?
but he's only focusing on sort of larger vehicles, like sort of off-road vehicles.
What's the show going to be called?
You wouldn't believe it. It's called Summer's Hummers.
Summer's Hummers coming to you this summer on Channel 9.
Yeah. It's one. Yeah. God, he's gorgeous.
Summer's Hummers.
That man was a celebrity at one stage in this country. Can you believe it?
Still gets his hair cut at Channel 9.
He does, apparently. He still goes there and gets his hair cut at Channel 9. He had a part of his contract. He was a drummer at one stage.
It's Summer's Drummers.
Where have we gone?
Where have we gone? Let's look. Yeah,
Much forward, not backwards, back to the forwards. Warriors game is...
who are you tipping?
the Knights should win it, and it's
Well, you have to say that.
and it's out in Tamworth. We win a lot out there.
We do like Tamworth.
It's an extension of
It's
Newcastle.
basically Newcastle West.
Has anyone been to? If anyone's been to Newcastle University, you speak to anyone. Where are you from? Tamworth. Oh,
They're
right.
all from Tamworth. I have a wonderful group of friends who all came from Tamworth.
You're the
Beautiful
Tamworth
people.
boys.
I've got the Tamworth boys. They're great people. Huge Knights fans as well.
Ollie Sterling, is he from Tamworth?
No, he's a good Newcastle boy. Born
Ah.
bred.
Who's from Tamworth?
Tim
from Tamworth.
from Tamworth.
Korean Tim.
Yes, Korean Tim from Tamworth.
Yeah.
Al Donaldson. He's a Roosters fan, so we don't give him too much grief. You've got Ben Burton.
Yeah.
You've got Brad. You've got Dave. Actually left
All of them.
Newcastle. Anyway,
You
it's an
just- we're just
extensive
naming
list.
first names now.
It's an extensive list of wonderful people from Tamworth who have emigrated to Newcastle. You
Yeah,
know, life's
yeah.
hard in Tamworth.
They get the
You know,
boat.
they get the boat. They get
go
their
down.
refugee status. They roll into Newcastle. They take all their goddamn jobs.
Yeah, and our women.
And our women.
Stand those handsome men from Tamworth.
Oh, let's get into the
We've
sack.
been open your
Maggie.
sack. I'm just going to open that sack right up, Liam.
First question, Andrew Turvey. Should we get Quicksand Guerra to kick goals for us? He can't be worse than Pong Dong.
I love Quicksand Guerra. That's great. Can I say, not a bad game for Quicksand on the
No,
way.
he's been pretty good.
He's been actually in quite good form recently. I think because he's probably looking for another contract. And he's
Now, I think the problem Andrew's gone for is one we just discussed about Tukes, is that we think Guerra's going to be a good kicker because he wears big shoes.
Yeah.
But again, what we've learned from Mark Tukey is that having big feet does not equate to being a good goal kicker.
No.
But
I would worry that in the moments, you know, as you said, the goal kicker and they put the ball down and they line up and they sort of sit there before I'd worry that Guerra would just
gonna
sort of
nod
nod off. That's why they had to put the 30-second time limit. He went in to kick once and they had to wake him up. They go, what are we going to do?
they look at track marks on his arm. He's out on the nod.
Someone went to wake him up. They go, no, don't wake him.
Leave it.
It's more dangerous if you wake him up. Just
Just a bit of garlic bread under the nose usually gets it perks straight back up.
Just get a clove and sort of crush it between you. And you're like, oh. And then
What was that thing you're not meant to wake up sleepwalkers? Is that true?
No, well, I am a sleepwalker. Please wake me up. I've heard this as well. People are like, don't wake him up. It's like, please do. I don't know where I'm going.
And how to get back from there once you've gone.
Yeah.
I don't think we answered your question, Andrew, but it was a good question anyway. So
Yeah.
are we for Guerra kicking or no?
Sure, yeah, anything's
Go
an
for it.
improvement.
Yeah.
One time I sleepwalked outside of I was staying at a friend's couch. I woke up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Just in my underwear.
Okay.
Now it was like a fold-out bed. I wasn't sleeping in underwear in this couch. Anyway, but
Was
it was
the
like
same fold-out bed that we shared one night
Yes.
at
Yeah, it
next
was.
door? Okay.
Yeah, it was.
The
the very
that
same-
was a sweaty, sweaty bed in
Well,
the
this
morning.
one was a winter's night. And I woke up. I must have woke up, and the door was one of those tiny little deadlock handles, but very you had to sort of raise your arm. And I managed to open that and walk outside, and the door shutting behind me was what woke me up. And it was 5 a.m. and about 6 degrees.
Should have knocked on my window, mate. Just next door.
No, I think you'd moved by that
I'd
point.
moved by then.
No, yeah.
We dumped the couch by the train tracks and buggered off to a new house.
We don't talk about the dumping, the illegal dumping.
Next question, Jacob Penfold. Jacob asks, which veteran 5'8" do we sign to sacrifice their body for our season? Or do we sacrifice in-house with Mason, Phoenix and Tech? Look, if we're going to sacrifice any 5'8" in the comp, let's get Anthony Milford up here.
Sure. Yeah.
He's about due to be sacrificed to the rugby league gods.
Yeah. Well,
Because he's still getting paid large money.
$1 million a season.
Yeah.
But that's Seabold money.
That's Seabold money. I tell you what, I reckon, given how desperate Broncos are probably to get rid of him, I reckon we can get him, $1.50, can of Solo. One can of Solo through the season, though. He doesn't get one each game. He has to pick.
He's a Pasito man. Can I just check?
Pasito or Passiona? What did you guys go for?
Oh, I wasn't a soft drink boy growing up.
He was a milkman.
I was a milkman.
Now, he loves his milk.
Yeah. There was a couple
Brittle
of
bones, though.
from all the sleepwalking. There's a couple of there's Anthony Milford, right? About $1 million a season. Darius Boyd, $1 million a season. Jack Bird, $1 million a season. Anthony Seabold, $1 million. Can Brisbane pay anyone $1 million a season to actually do something good?
Apparently not, Nagy. Apparently not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Brisbane should never pay anyone $1 million ever again because it's a recipe for them just to fuck up for a whole
But
entire
watch
year.
him do it, and we're going to again laugh as the whole place burns to the ground. Next question. Daniel J. Larkham, I think we all love Man this season. Do we agree when he's not at 6, our attack looks much more coherent?
Yeah.
Man to stay at 9. Now, I do have to agree. As good as Man's been... He's not your classic ball playing 5'8". So while his running game's been great,
No, he's not.
he
He's-
hasn't taken too much pressure off Pierce.
You don't see those clean backline movements from Man.
No.
He's more of a jinker, and a little bit of a drinker. if you like.
I was going to say that word sounds a bit rude. If you called me a jinker at the pub on a Saturday night, I'd give you a bunch of fives, buddy.
Can you believe it? My daughter came home with a jinker. Not at my dinner table.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
It's not a rude word, but it sounds like
Sounds
one.
like a rude word. So, yeah, we agree. We agree. He's a classic jinker. Next question from Jared Carl. Jared asks, as next year is the 20th anniversary of our grand final win over the Eels, will there be an event hosted by the Joust, much like we had for the 97 GF? It was a fantastic night. Thank you, Jared. I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. And,
it was wonderful.
Hopefully we can organise another.
I don't have it in me.
Well, I was about to bring that up. I'm glad you mentioned that, Nagy. The 97 event, for those who were there, we actually relived that event every night for about 3 months.
It took it out of us, yeah.
It took it out of us. It damn near killed us. I've never drunk quite so much as I ever had, and some extracurriculars as well.
We'll make you a deal. If there is any time that the Knights win a grand final, then we'll do it.
Then we'll do it.
If there any time between now and then the Knights win a grand final, which has to be this year, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it if the Knights win the grand final, Jared. We loved it. We loved doing it, but it was.
But that's it. The 97 20-year anniversary, we aged 20 years over that couple of months where we just went mental. And
Absolutely
boy, those
mental.
97 boys, they give it a good nudge.
Well, they were leading us down the garden path.
They were.
Anthony
Terrible
Butterfield,
influences.
in particular.
Joey just was in our ears.
Shut up, Joey.
He couldn't get enough of us. He couldn't get enough of us.
Have we got one more? Have we got one more question? I think we got one.
We do. Michael King. Now, I love this question from Michael King. It's a bit of an esoteric question, something we can kind of bandy around and really, get to the core of some of humanity's greatest issues. Who was it? Michael King. Yeah, Michael asked, what's the best topping for a schnitty?
Oh, it's a great question.
Open the voting.
Yeah. I'm always a pepper sauce man.
Again, 2 men, 1 brain.
Yeah.
Pepper sauce, please and thank you.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with pepper sauce.
I remember the Maryland Tavern, would have been about 7 or 8 years ago. They had a whole menu of schnitzel toppers.
Yeah.
I think it was like 30 different toppers or something they had.
Yeah.
But one of them, and this was the one that really took my fancy, they had a schnitzel
Yeah.
with schnitzel sauce.
Sorry?
Now, let me tell you what schnitzel sauce is.
Yeah.
It's a second schnitzel put on top of the first schnitzel.
Okay, that's an interesting
Only in Maryland.
interpretation of the word sauce.
It is, isn't it?
I once threw up at a friend's house and I
Yeah.
blamed the fact that they had incense burning in the house, and I don't like incense.
Yes.
But actually, earlier that night I had about 5 donuts and then I had a schnitzel with bolognese sauce on it.
Oh.
It
Two
was
meals.
It was nice at the start.
Chicken.
I love that
Chicken
idea.
schnitzel wasn't
Yeah.
pork.
No, chicken with bolognese.
Veal.
So
Now-
too many animals, too many things.
I had a couple of years ago, there was a bakery in the Hunter Street Mall, and I got a spaghetti bolognese pie from them. It was incredible. It had the noodles and everything, had the meat, had the tomato sauce, the passata.
In the pie.
In the pie. It was a whole meal. I just love just the pie format. It just leaves so much room for innovation and
does.
ingenuity. There's
Put
so much
anything
you
in
can
there.
do with a pie.
Yeah.
Butter chicken, chuck it
Yeah.
in a pie.
Anything you want.
I've forgotten anything else you can put in a pie, but yes,
But you can put it in a pie.
You put it in a pie.
Oh, well, we better wrap this up. It's gone far too long of nonsense.
Join us next week for our. I was trying to think.
Do you want
of
to wrap us up? Can you wrap us up one night? Always wrap us up.
I was trying to think of a pie-related pun for our next podcast.
There's going to be more shit and Daryl Summers and all the rest.
Pie in the sky.
Did you do the rap? Where's your camera?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the Joust. It's been a pleasure again, as it always is, and it never isn't. Join us on all the social pipes: Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Twitter,
Spotify.
Yes, I did it. We did it.
Facebook.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's the big one.
That's the big
That's
one.
the most important one. That's why I saved it
It's
till
hard
last.
when you put it on the spot, isn't it?
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. It's been our pleasure. Again, it always is.
So-
Thank you for jousting, juniors. We'll see you next week.
Juniors.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to say jousting twice.
Good night.